Hey guys, welcome to Nana's Kitchen. Today we're going to make my favorite meatloaf. We have a friend that just came home from the hospital having surgery, so I'm going to make them this meatloaf. It's my favorite. It has a ketchup sauce on top of it, sweet and tangy. All right, so this is my sweet and tangy meatloaf. What you're going to need is you're going to need 1 pound of ground beef. You're going to need 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. You're going to need half of a diced onion. You're going to need half a cup of milk. You're going to need 1 egg. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. You're going to need probably about 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. And you're going to need, 3/4 a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and we can even throw some black pepper in there. I didn't get it out, but we'll get it. Now, you're going to need 1/3 cup of ketchup for your topping, and you're going to need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar for your topping, and you're also going to need 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. This is where the little kick comes from. So, we've already preheated our oven to bake 350, and I usually use a loaf pan to make these, and I even use the metal ones. And I use a metal loaf pan so that I can wash them and reuse them, okay? So, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna start with our 1 pound of ground beef, and we're gonna go ahead and put our diced onion in there. The best thing about this recipe is that it's just mix it all together and then put it in a loaf pan. Now, we've already preheated our oven to bake 350. I took off all of my jewelry. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our garlic powder. You know, Nana measures with my eyeballs and my heart. We're going to measure with our half a cup of milk. Okay, and we are going to add our Himalayan salt. We're going to add our onion powder. We're going to add our 1 large egg. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Now remember, you're going to need more ketchup for the topping. This is just what goes inside. All right, we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of parsley just for pretty looks. And we need to get our 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm almost out, so I think I have some more in the pantry. All right, that looks like 1 tablespoon. All right, now let's get our black pepper. The only thing I didn't get out of the cabinet. Now, the final ingredient is the 1 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're gonna measure that out. Alrighty, now good fun getting our hands dirty. I should have took my bracelet off. I'll just slide it up. All right, so if you see my pan, it is well used, and we don't need to grease it or anything. We're just gonna slap it down in there, and we will push it down. Okay. All right, let me show you how to make this delicious ketchup topping to go on top. You're going to need about 1/3 cup of ketchup, and Nana always puts a little bit more. I measure with my eyeballs. You can do 1/3 cup exactly if you want to, and I do 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Here's 1, and here is 2. All right, and we're just going to mix that up, and that is our topping. It's got a little sweet, a little tangy. There's not a whole lot of the red wine vinegar in it, but it's just enough to give it that twang. Okay, it's mixed up well now, so we've got our meatloaf, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our ketchup topping. Make sure I get all of it out, and we're going to spread it over our meatloaf. Y'all, this is so yummy, and it's not just ketchup. You know, it's got that twang, and it's got that sweetness. Makes it delicious. Okay, and we're going to bake in the oven, 350 for 55 minutes, okay? Okay, now, to go along with our meatloaf, I've got 2 jars of my canned green beans that I canned in 2023. And this year, I usually skip a year. And this year, I'll be planting green beans again because my green beans are running low. So if you do it every year, you get too many green beans. So, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to take our canned green beans, and I've got some potatoes that were starting to grow eyes, and so it's either hurry up and throw them in there with my green beans or go plant them in the garden, and I'm not planting today. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to good seal. Good seal. I am making some for us to have for supper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up the potatoes in chunks, leaving the skin on, and I'm going to put it inside with the green beans. Now this is the way back in the day my grandma used to do her green beans, especially when she had company, because it gave them a little bit, it spread the green beans out a little bit, plus gave them a little bit of potatoes. And you know, back in the day, people used up whatever they had when they needed to get rid of it. And, all right. Okay, that's our last potato. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my big old spoon. Let me get my big old spoon or a spatula. And we're going to stir them up. Mix them in with them green beans really well. And then we're going to add our favorite part, which is our bacon grease. This just makes the flavor so much better. I'm going to put about a tablespoon because we have a lot of green beans in there. Okay? And that is really all the seasoning we're going to put in there because I put salt in them when I canned the green beans. So we'll have to taste it after they cook to see if we need to add any more, but usually we don't have to. We might add some pepper, but other than that, you see that? And we're going to go put them on the burner and we're going to let them cook on medium-low while our meatloaf cooks. Oh, look at that sweet and tangy meatloaf. All right, let's wrap it up and take it to our friend. Ooh, all right. This is the same meal I made for our friend. Y'all try this meatloaf. It's yummy. And y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Nana loves you.